It started with a rumor that new rifle cartridges were greased with cow and pig fat. For Hindu and Muslim soldiers in the British Army, this was deeply offensive. But this was just the spark. The fire had been burning for decades. Economic exploitation, land seizures, and disrespect to Indian customs had created deep resentment. On May 10, 1857, soldiers in Meerut revolted. They killed their officers and marched to Delhi, declaring the Mughal Emperor Bahadur Shah Zafar as India's ruler. The revolt spread rapidly. Kanpur, Lucknow, Jhansi, Gwalior, Bareilly, all rose in defiance. Legendary figures emerged. Fire Rani Lakshmibai, the queen who fought till her last breath. Fire Tantia Tope, a master strategist. Fire Mangal Pandey, the soldier whose bullet became a spark. But the British retaliated with brutal force. Cities were burned. Rebels were hanged. Thousands died. By 1858, the revolt was crushed. The British Crown took control from the East India Company. And the Indian freedom movement had truly begun. The 1857 revolt wasn't just a failure. It was India's first war of independence. And it changed the course of our history. Brain sparkles, begin analytical perspective section. But let's pause for a moment. What did the revolt of 1857 really achieve? Militarily? It failed. Politically? The British became even more ruthless. Culturally? The scars ran deep. But look closer, and you'll see, the real impact was invisible but permanent. First, the revolt shattered the myth of British invincibility. Ordinary farmers, sepoys, women, and tribal leaders stood up to one of the strongest empires on earth. Even in defeat, they ignited courage in the Indian soul. Second, it exposed the cost of division. Lack of coordination, regional loyalties, and absence of a national vision. These weaknesses taught future leaders what not to do. By the time the Indian National Congress rose in 1885, the message was clear: India needed unity, not scattered resistance. Third, it changed how the British ruled us. After 1858, they were no longer just traders, they were rulers. The British Raj began. With it came railways, new laws, English education, tools that would ironically help Indians organize future rebellion. But it also led to racial arrogance, divide and rule, and systematic exploitation. The very soul of India, its villages, crafts, and self-rule, began to erode. Emotionally, it awakened something deeper. The image of Rani Lakshmibai on horseback, or Mangal Pandey raising his gun, didn't fade with time. They became symbols, not just of revolt, but of resistance. And that spirit, passed on to Gandhi, Bhagat Singh, Subhash Chandra Bose, is what finally broke the British chain. So yes, the revolt of 1857 was crushed. But like a seed that dies to give birth to a tree, it planted the roots of Indian nationalism. And that's why it still lives on, not just in textbooks, but in every Indian heart. India Jai Hind.